Welcome to Camp Chaos, where we celebrate the wild ride of modern womanhood.
Join us as we dish on motherhood, life's ups and downs, and all things pop culture that we know you want to talk about.
With special guests and expert insights, we're here to empower you through the chaos of everyday life.
Consider this your ultimate escape from the hustle and bustle. And as always, parental guidance suggested.
Camp is now in session.
Hello and welcome to a special holiday edition of Camp Chaos.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas, happy holidays.
Happy December.
Today we are talking about Elf on the Shelf.
Our little friend that every family has.
Our
or most
girl.
families, not all.
Not all. And this will be the first year I am participating in this tradition. We have never done it before.
Okay, so last year I got the said elf that's behind me. And I will be honest, I did not use it because it was like halfway through. I'm like, oh, shoot, Zane seems old enough. And then I'm like, I have so much going on. I am not setting, because I just thought the elf sits there and was like, I'm going to watch you all December. No, the elf has to participate every night,
Right.
creating mischief and nonsense and like doing bad stuff. So then I'm like, Elf is going on my shelf and I'll see you in 2024. So now little Miss Elf
Miss
has
Elf
entered
was
the chat.
useless.
She was
last
useless
year.
last year, so I'm so excited to be able to play this year.
Yeah, and I think our
it's
boys
more for me.
Well, I think our boys are at a fun age now where you can use things like that. And I say use because I think it's like a tool for behavior during the holidays, which we're going to get into all of that. But let's start with the basics. Maybe if you're like me and you are like, what the hell is Elf on the Shelf that these girls talking about? Have they lost their minds? Okay, so the Elf on the Shelf tradition is based on a children's book, The Elf on the Shelf. The book explains that Santa's scout elves watch over children's activities during the day and report back to Santa each night. So I think
Then why does the elf make mischief at night?
well,
Because every morning the elf is supposed to have done something and the kids come down and see it in the morning doing
okay, well,
said
so
thing.
the tradition involves adopting an elf and naming it. So I
Got
think
it.
that's the big part, right? So you get your elf and your kids get to name it. You read the book to the kids, moving the elf to a new location each morning before the children wake up. But I think the mischief part comes in because like parents have gotten creative and they're like, oh, now he's in the toilet or
Make
whatever.
it more
is.
alive.
Make it more fun.
It's a part of the family. Okay.
No touching the elf or it will lose its magic.
Oh.
Allowing children to share wishes and secrets with the elf, having the elf return to the North Pole on Christmas Eve.
Got it. See, this is where I'm going to make the elf my own thing.
Okay.
Like, this is
Tell
not
us.
going to be no touching the elf. This elf can go everywhere we go. This elf is part of the family. If you're going to be in my house, elf, you can't not touch the elf. Like, that is a little weird. And I don't believe in like watching and reporting back to Santa because guess what? Zane is going to act up all December, overstimulated, all the things, and he's still going to get shit on Christmas from Santa. Right? Like, so this is just another fun tradition, I think, for me.
I think
in my eyes.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to use.
less
it
of a tool.
as, but I think that's how it did gain its popularity, though,
It's
is
just being
because
fun.
no, but I think it gained its popularity. Maybe I'm wrong, but like by
No, it
being a
did.
tool
It did.
of behavior. Because I don't know. I guess
So
it's
then
all
what do
these
you
children
but then,
act up during
okay,
the
but then what do
holidays.
the moms do in the other 11 months of the year where you're like, there's no elf? Like, bring the elf out in July. Like, what do? No, you
No.
have to listen to mommy.
No, but I think like even now, don't you hear like some of our friends are like, well, Santa's not going to come, or like put it.
That is
you know,
a freaking empty threat.
it is. Well,
Santa's always
we're
gonna come.
filled with empty threats. These are all empty
100%, but that
threats.
is one that like I'm not going to take the joy. I'm not going to use the joy of Christmas based on behavior for my kids, especially at 3 years old.
I agree 1000%, but I do want to use it not as a tool, but because I'm struggling with explaining to Miller like the idea of Santa. And I don't know if it's because it's not a mistake that we made. Like because he loves Halloween, but sometimes he'll get scared. And so we tell him like, oh, it's all pretend. Like everything, the Cocos
So
are
Christmas
pretend.
is also pretend.
Well, then he said, yeah, my brother-in-law was like, oh, Miller, are you so excited for Santa? And he said, yeah, it's all pretend. And so now I told him the other day, I said, no, Santa's real. It's the magic
so
of Christmas.
Miller's already the 10-year-old that's ruining it for everybody else.
No, he can't, because I was the last person to know about Santa. Like,
Yeah.
I did not believe it until I was in 7th grade that Santa was not real.
So I think
I want to use this too to like show him that there is magic,
The magic
that
of
this
Christmas.
elf did come from the North Pole, and it does have communication with Santa. Maybe sometimes if you're acting
You
up
want to
for like the
restore the
5th
magic.
time, I need to
Because you
restore the
ruined him
magic.
with Halloween.
But I'm also going to use
This
it
is your
maybe
payback.
a little bit as bribery.
Love it. So, okay, I need one last thing in December to be worried about other than another
Exactly.
child, also known as the elf.
Like I have sourdough, 2 children.
Yeah,
I'm
you've
baking a
got enough
child. I
going
don't have
on.
enough
We
time
don't
for
have
the
enough
elf.
time for Miss said whatever your name is back here. However, I do think that now, welcome to the world of like TikTok shop. I got an ad for the kit for your 24 days of here's open this bag. And every day it was $60, which don't get me wrong, that's expensive, but I will reuse it for years to come. And every day, like you set up a different thing. So you don't have to get creative, like, oh, they got in the Cheerios. Oh, it's in the toilet with red food dye, like it's peen red. Like I've seen so many weird things online. It gives you like, here's a bowling set that like, and then here's a little baking set. Like they were making pancakes overnight. So you just open that bag and you spread it out. Like it takes like a minute to set it up. And then the kids go look for it, which I think is super cute. Because as you know, this year I'm all about like low effort, high impact.
Right.
I do think that elf can be that for me.
We've said it once before and we will say it again. We are obsessed with OneSkin. I don't know if you're like me. Is your skin feeling drier than normal? Well, it turns out there's a scientific reason for that, something today's sponsor, OneSkin, the first company to target skin aging at the cellular level, knows all about. Your skin barrier, the outermost layer of your skin, gets compromised during the winter due to things like colder temperature and lower humidity.
So the difference between OneSkin's products and others on the market is that OneSkin is formulated with the proprietary OS1 peptide. This is a peptide that the 4 founders, who are all skin longevity scientists, developed after testing over 900 other ingredients. It's scientifically proven to switch off the aging of those dysfunctional cells that cause collagen breakdown and compromise the skin barrier.
Now you can try OneSkin's top sellers in their limited edition holiday bundle, and we love a holiday bundle, a $149 value for just $99. This exclusive set includes travel sizes of OS1i, our personal favorite, OS1 Face, and OS1 Body in an elegant leatherette bag. It's the perfect gift for anyone who wants healthier, more hydrated skin.
So for a limited time, get 15% off using code CAMPCHAOS when you check out at oneskin.co. This holiday season, invest in your skin's long-term health because healthy aging is a gift.
Okay, yeah, I am a little worried about that. And that's why I was even hesitant to do it this year, is because this is the last headache that I need. Like, I don't need to go to bed. I stress enough about like this podcast, what the kids are going to do. I don't need homework of how am I going to get the elf ready to go before Miller wakes up in the morning. So something like that does sound like I'd be interested. But then I'm also like, do I want to pay $60 for that when I could just get creative around the house, where I assign Drew, like we do every other day?
Totally.
But then that at like 24 days is a lot of days.
It's a lot
of
days.
Like,
and
do we get the weekends off?
I know Elf does not get weekends off. I'm sure there's things on Pinterest that like you could just quickly, or like, you know, any of these social medias that you could search, what does Elf do, and find it. I don't want the extra search.
Yeah, no, I think that is a very well $60
it was a good investment
spent.
I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as I thought she was coming alive behind me. You pipe down, you nameless little elf, which by the way, we have not named her yet. We'll just call her Chaos. Hi, Chaos. Oh my God. Welcome to the team. Give her a mic. Okay, so as far as like the behavior part of this, I do think this is kind of a hot topic. As far as like they act up, oh, elf is watching you. Like, what's your take on that?
I don't know. I'm struggling a bit because I don't love it. But I think that that's kind of a big part of Christmas. We tend to do this, like you're
Santa,
on the nice
are you good
list,
or
you're
on
the naughty list. Like when you sit on Santa's lap, were you a good boy this year? And, you know, I don't love that. But then I do also like when I was just talking to Miller about Santa the other day, I am saying like, you have to be a nice boy if you want nice things. Like you all year. Like you don't just get just because it's Christmas. Like you don't just get gifts. And I said, mommy has to be a nice mommy. Daddy has to be a nice daddy. But I want gifts. I want Santa to bring me gifts.
So you'd be like, you have not been nice to daddy. You are not getting gifts. Okay. So the other thing with the behavior that leads into this is also controversial is the surveillance. Like you are being watched. And I don't know about you, but Zane already is like with the Nana in his room. He's like, who's watching me? Hi, mommy. You watching me? Mommy, you see me? Like that camera, I'm like, we need to back that up. And then also there's an elf watching you. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, I get what you're saying because we're saying that someone's always watching you. Oh, I hate that. I don't like that. I do
Don't
tell
love it.
Miller, you know, when he's going to sleep, like, I'm watching you on the camera. You're always safe. You know,
Now Elf is also watching you.
no. I
Elf
won't
is
be
watching the Nanette.
No, I think it's more so, you know, like during the day, what about this? What about I'm going to say, I am going to go tell Elf. If you are acting like not a nice boy, I'm going to go tell Elf.
Doable.
So he can go tell Santa, because Santa only brings gifts to boys who are trying to be nice boys.
100%.
I mean,
you know, the other thing that like it says is, okay, the social media pressure, but as is every other day of the year.
Every other day.
Every other day.
Like, do not look to me to be the creative
What do you
elf
mean?
on the shelf.
Well, I was going to say about your resource for social media pressure. I'm like, yeah, you are the social media pressure.
No. But I mean, like, I'll probably post about it the first day just to acknowledge that I'm doing it. And some part of social for me is to hold myself accountable of like, okay, everybody now knows you're doing it. I will not be posting every day of what I do. One of my friends.
Nor does anyone give a shit.
I will not say her
right?
name. No.
Sorry if you're the friend that does it.
No, but she is so creative with it with her kids. And I'm always like, how do you have the time, energy? Like, she will make a
Some
mess
people,
in
it's
her
just
house.
their widget. Like, it's just their
If
thing.
I were like that, I'd probably post all the time.
You'd want to brag.
I'd want to brag,
Yeah,
but
totally.
I don't. So I won't struggle with the social media thing. I think the biggest issue with Elf on the Shelf is how you're going to use it as a tool with your kids when it comes to behavior.
100%.
It should not be like this scary thing that reports
I want to make
Santa.
it. No, it's making it
it's supposed to
fun.
be fun.
Yeah.
It helps with like the countdown to Christmas. The elf is here for 25 days.
I think it's just another fun tradition that you're doing. Just like baking with Santa and Christmas cookies. Like, that's
it's
all.
just like we have a little piece of the North Pole with us for 24 days, and you help make the magic. Because I think sometimes, like, when you think about the North Pole and stuff, it's like, it's so wild. Like, your imagination is so wild that you're like, oh my gosh, no, it's actually real. Like, here is what an elf looks like. They're here and they are getting into things. Like, I will probably just like put the elf on Miller's Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Like, I won't
I'll
get
be honest.
crazy.
Like, I think that at the end of the day, this month in December, I just want to figure out how to put mommy up on the shelf and give mommy a break and let Elf tap in. You tap in.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Chaos. I love Chaos. Actually, the
Chaos
name
is cute.
So cute. Yeah,
you know
should
Zane
call
will
her
love it.
Chaos.
Yeah.
I think they have boy elves, right?
Yeah, I thought I got a boy, and then she came with earrings.
Okay, I think I'll get the boy
Get the
so
boy.
that we can
Perfect.
trade off
Every year.
each year.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
But okay, so how are you going to like introduce her? Are you going to do reading the book? Are you going to tell him like, okay, these are the rules moving forward?
So, okay, like I said, I got it last year for Zane, and I didn't know how any of this elf thing went. So, like, when it came from the Amazon packaging, I was like, look, we got an elf. I was like, not exciting at all. And I read the book to him, and then I was like, oh, like, mommy needs to educate herself. So he saw the box when I was cleaning out the playroom and doing everything in like August, and he goes, oh, the elf is back. Thank God mommy did not put the elf back in the box. So I was like, oh no, Santa hasn't dropped her off yet. So he knows that there's an empty box downstairs and he's waiting for Elf to appear. And sometimes he says like abracadabra, alakazam, and he'll open it. And I'm like, still not December. So I think that introducing it is a very, very big, important way because it sets up at how you are going, like, what is that elf going to do? Whatever you say to these kids now, they're going to hold you accountable.
100%.
So how are you going to do it for the month of December? I honestly think it's Elf is here for December to have some fun with us and create a little bit of Christmas magic. She also goes back to the North Pole at night. Like, I will find out a way, but it's not about watching you, making sure you're good and telling Santa if you were naughty today. Like, no, there's enough scare-tastic. You need to be scared of mommy, not the elf.
Yeah. You know what I'm struggling with a little bit is we keep asking him, like we've asked him every day for the past week, and he doesn't give us an answer of what he wants. And I feel like that will be a good thing is like, okay, when we start to think things, let's go tell the elf what we want Santa to bring us because mommy needs to make a list. Mommy needs to get some Black Friday sales, and I need to know what you want because I'm not buying junk. So I feel like using the elf as a way to just talk to Santa of like, what do you want? What toys do you want? I do think for me, the introduction will be so important because Miller, and I know Zane is the same way, but like routine and everything is so serious and big. Like the tree, he plugs in his tree every day now. Mommy, can I plug in the tree? My dad's like, you can't let him plug in the plug. I'm like, well,
don't you have a switch?
No,
is there a button?
I need to do the button. My dad said I have to get the button. But I told him you can only turn on the tree. The tree lights turn on when you wake up from quiet time and when you wake up in the morning. But like he unplugs
Yeah,
it. Like
so the way that you introduce it is very important.
Very important. So I think, I'll be similar to you. The elf is here for the month of December. Santa sent him. It's really special. We get to talk to the elf. The elf will talk back to Santa.
Totally.
And sometimes he gets into mischief around the house. And
Not all the time. Sometimes he takes a night off.
Sometimes he sits on that kitchen island.
There you go. Sometimes he takes a little nap. It's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Totally.
But I do think there's something so cute about this. And I'm sure people are going to say, oh, you can't do this. It's wrong. It's like, it's fun.
It should be fun. And to each their own, if it doesn't work for you, don't do it.
And I feel like with the boys, it can be a little overwhelming the month of December. Like, let's have a countdown. Let's know when Santa's
This is
coming.
our advent calendar.
This is our advent calendar. This is your 24 days. Now, we should probably do an episode after we commit to this whole elf on the shelf thing. And maybe we're going to have a completely different tune.
Totally.
Or it'd be like, don't ever do this. It's the dumbest thing.
What's your address? We'll send you our elves. Where do we forward these to? You're being evicted. Before you're even introduced. Well, Merry Christmas, you guys, and Happy December. I hope you guys are hanging in there. We're all just doing our best this month.
Wait, I was going to ask, where does the elf go? Like back to the North Pole? You put him back away on Christmas Eve? Oh, because
I don't know.
Goes to...
Yeah, he leaves. Maybe Santa takes him.
Okay, so he goes back in the box and you just hide him so that they can never find the elf.
Yes.
Okay.
Just with the Christmas tree ornaments.
Right. Okay, great. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for tuning in to Camp Chaos. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our show. Connect with us on social media at Camp Chaos Podcast. Until next time, campers.